Hi, QUYYN is here and you're watching ESNEWS. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at QUYYN. Hi everyone, QUYYN is here, Christina, and Outlaws Boxing Gym in Reseda, California with the owner Brandon. And Brandon is going to demonstrate us the basic combos for beginners. Brandon, what do they need to start with when they start boxing?
Well, typically we have a standard first day for everybody in which they learn that basic stance and we teach them a few punches. Let's start with that basic stance. The first thing I do is I have my potential boxers look at their reflection in the mirror. Now this reflection is going to be their opponent for the time being. Next, what I want them to do is find the center of their reflection, take their left side, line it up with that center, now take their rear foot, step forward until there's a gap in between that you can see, get up on your toes, point them forward. So now I have a good foot position. My feet are staggered, I'm on my toes, my knees are bent, my hips, they rock back and forth. Now this motion in my hips always works, okay? I'm either moving my hips or punching somebody in the face, alright? So if I'm not punching right now, that means these hips are moving. I'm always on my toes. There is no technique in which your heel needs to hit the ground, so they gotta be up. The next thing we're coming up, I want to protect my body. I want to protect my organs, and the way that I do this is by pulling my elbows tight to my side. Now, this does two different things. First of all, it does protect me from those body blows, but also this is the correct angle that I want my punches to come from with my elbows tight. Typically, this is one of the more awkward things for the beginner, but it is very, very important key of boxing stance, okay? Continuing up to my hands. Well, my hands are open. They're loose, so they can move quickly, so they can react, so they can parry, and also so they can protect this chin, because I know that's what my opponent wants to hit. So I take my guard or my defenders, right, and I put them on either side of my chin. Knowing that my opponent wants to hit me in my chin, I want to make it as difficult for them as possible. So I take that chin and I tuck it into the top of my chest. So this means that I have to look out of the top of my eyes in order to see my opponent with my chin tucked. Now, you see, it makes me look kind of mean, but that's not what I'm trying to do, but it's an added bonus. I'm joking. So, on my toes, knees are bent, hips are rocking, elbows are in tight, hands are open, hands are up, and chin is down. Now, this is boxing stance 101, right? And people watching at home, I'm sure you know that Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson don't box anything alike, but I bet you that their first day in the gym started pretty much with this stance, okay? So this stance is where punches start from, it's where punches end from, so it's advantageous for me to move within this stance. That means if I were to step forward, let's say 6 inches with my front foot, well, I got to follow 6 inches with my rear foot, so I end up right back into the same stance. So I'm going to step forward a few steps, and whatever I do with that lead foot, I must return with my rear foot. I don't want this to happen. I don't want to step forward and overcompensate and end up with my feet too close. And likewise, I don't want to end up stepping too wide for my first point and end up in this position, even if it's only going to be for 1/100th of a second. When I step left and right, that corresponding foot moves me in that direction. So if I want to move to the left foot kicks out, right foot follows. Likewise, if I want to move to the right foot steps out, left foot follows, and that's how I can step laterally, keeping my boxing stance and without crossing my feet. Now, like I said, this boxing stance is where punches start from and end from. So let's start throwing some punches.
Okay.